Hi. So for this part, we are going to start for JSON Web Token authentication. So for this, we are going to use an external library, Djoser, and also the Django REST framework simple JWT. From what I learned with someone, its authentications is not something that you want to mess up. So we are using the Djoser. So, but before that, let's do something that we forgot in the last part. That is to commit in our Git. So I think our Git was already created, but you haven't commit. So for this, you are going Git add all, and let me see the stats. Okay, Git commit, and that one is going to be your first commit if you already have done some things in that files. So for the Djoser, what you have to do first of it, you have to install. So we come here, let's see that we are in the backend, and you are. So as you can see, the best way to learn about Djoser is to go to the documentation and see what do they have. I'm going to explain to you a little bit since we are going through, but this is the first thing that you have to do is pip install Djoser. We also want Django REST framework and simple JWT and also JWT. Okay, it's installing. Perfect. Now let's we have done this. Let's add in our requirements pip freeze requirements.txt, and if we come here, yes, we can see that this was added. Okay, so for the settings, first we have to come here. We have here the documentation for the Djoser and also for the simple JWT. So first thing that we want to add, it's in the settings, we want to add our Django REST framework settings. So let me just see where it is here. It's here in the Djoser docs. So we have actually told the REST framework that we are going to use the JWT authentication. We come here, then, and we add this. We need this, and I think there it's good. Next step, it's also to install on the internal apps. We have to install Djoser and also REST framework and simple JWT. Okay, now we are good. Now we have to configure our Djoser. So for this, we come here, the settings, because what Djoser is going to do, it's going to create APIs, endpoints, and views, so we don't have to deal with that ourselves. So what the file looks like, it's like this. So we are going to copy this, and after we are going to configure with you along the way. So first thing that we want here, it's some fields. As you can see, we have some of them: user ID field, password reset confirm is shown as some kind of characteristic that it's doing in our authentication system. Let's start with our login field, which is here. And so what that field is going to do, it will allow us to specify which kind of a field we want to use for the login. So we're going to use the email. So next field that we can go, it's user create passwords retype that you are going to put it in true. So it will allow us to pass real password. So it's going to be a second validation in our endpoint. So we are going to set that to true. Also, what we want is here username change password. Username change email confirmation. So if true, change username endpoints will send the email confirmation to the user, which you are going to put the default to true. And along the way, we are going to add more configurations, but I will now copy all of them at once, and I'm going to explain you how do they work in detail, because I think the typing it's not what is important to show here. Okay, and now I just copy my other previous projects all the configurations that we are going to use. As you can see, the name is very intuitive. All the configurations are here in the docs. So brief explaining, send confirmation email is allow us to present confirmation email. This is the setup for the URL that we are going to send the reset password. Set password retype true. We have also the activation URL that's going to be that URL. Send email activation, we also put is equal to true. And after we have to do, we are going to create some serializer. Basically, we are going to override the user create serializer. In the user delete, we use the Djoser one. It's going to be Djoser Serializers, user delete serializer. So for this, now we have to create serializers. So in users here, a new file, serializers dot UI, and that's here. But before that, we also have to specify the simple JWT settings. So they're going to be basically this is also the same concept at Djoser. We have like the settings that you can choose, and for this we are going to say simple JWT going to be equal to a dictionary, and for the out header types we want these to be bearer and JWT. Next. Okay, is next going to be the access token lifetime, and as the name implies, going to be literally the time that our token is active. So we are going to use the functions time delta, convert this in seconds, and we let's say here, let's say minutes to 120. So, but for this, we also have to import the time delta. So we are going to the and here from that time import delta, and now differences. Okay, and now I'll do the same thing that I did with Djoser. I finished now to type the other fields. So we did the refreshing token lifetime, the signing key, the authentication header, and authentication token class. That it's our simple JWT. We also have to create in the environment variable a signing key, which I'm going to do now. So we come here to our NV, let's say signing key, and this is one that we can create. I came here in the random generator and maybe that one. So now we have also our protected signing key. So next step, the configurations are done. So what we did, it was configure the REST framework, the simple JWT, and the Djoser. Now we have to finish this with the serializers. And for the serializers, let's start by import Django contrib. Let's import our customer user model, and this is how we import customer user model. So get user model, we come here to user, and we're going to get user model. Next, we also want to import from Djoser.serializer, we are going to override the user create serializer, and from REST framework import serializer. Actually, that one is not going to be needed, so we're good with that one. So let's start to overdrive the class user create serializer. Going to be class create user serializer, and we're going to inherit from user create serializer. Class meta user create serializer dot meta, and here for the model that you're going to use, it's user, and what we want here are the fields like ID, email, first name, last name, password. Let me just confirm with the models, name, email, name and password. Okay. And that's it for our serializer. Last but not least, we have now to configure our Djoser endpoints. For this, we're going to the main journal bullet, urls.py, and here we want to import the includes and now to configure our Djoser endpoint. So we are going to name it API version 1 out, and we're going to include the Djoser URLs. Second, we copy this and in the same we're going to configure Djoser URLs JWT. And if you're wondering, where do I get this configuration? This explains here is in the getting started in the Djoser documentation. And I think that's it for the configuration. So now that we have a Djoser setup, the next step, we are going to test our endpoints using Postman, and we are trying to register and log in new users, and also trying to the endpoint reset password. But this is going to be for the next video. So if you like this video and you think it was useful, like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.